Okay. Well, that sounds like a pretty good day.
Hmm.
Not the best, could have been better. You described ways that could have gone either way. Um, so to summarize that experience, it sounds like to me when you are motivated not to drink, it's because you have that support system. Does that sound right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So do you feel like that support system is keeping you from drinking because you have the help you need? Is it that you feel like you need more help, or how would you characterize that support? Is it emotional, mental?
Well, it was nice to have somebody around because my husband sometimes travels and I'm with the
Okay.
kids. So what helped in a couple ways. I had somebody to talk with, and then she kind of took the kids for a while and let me take a little nap. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, I think the support was really good, and I needed it because the day before wasn't good because he was gone, and I
Okay.
really felt bad that day.
So to go off of this just a little bit more, if you felt like you had that support every day, do you think that your motivation would keep going up, or how do you think that would
Hmm.
affect?
Yeah, I think it would
Yeah, you think it
definitely.
would.
Yeah.
And you said something that held you back from being a little more motivated was your lack of sleep.
Hmm.
Okay, is that pretty common, or how would you characterize the amount of sleep you get?
Well, I would say 2 to 3 nights during a week I get woken by something. It's either one of the kids are crying or I just don't sleep. I wake up and I
Hmm.
start thinking of everything and I'm worrying and
Okay,
um, probably like on the average of 2 to 3 nights a
okay.
week.
And how do you feel like that affects your drinking? Do you?
But I get so tired, I just feel like, when I don't sleep, I'm tired and then I get cranky and then I get mad at my kids and then I feel bad getting mad at them and I drink to make me feel better and
Okay,
it's just like a vicious cycle.
I gotcha. So what it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like sleep is a big factor, rest is a big factor.
Hmm.
Um, Feeling energized seems to be a big factor
Hmm.
in your drinking. Would you say that's correct, or am I on the right track?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what it
Okay.
is.
Well, sleep is sleep isn't really a thing you are going to just be able to change all of a sudden,
Hmm.
um, especially with young children.
Yeah.
So that might be not the sleep itself might not be something that you can change, but do you think there's anything related to your sleep that you could adjust, maybe when you go to sleep, or um, how do you feel? Do you think you could change your routine at all, or anything that could get you a little
Yeah.
more restful?
I mean, I'm thinking a lot of times if I eat late or even drink something really, like drink a wine cooler or something that's sweet, I
Mhm.
think, it maybe keeps me awake a little bit.
Okay.
So I probably need to make sure I don't eat after a certain time.
Okay. Well, first of all, this whole situation, this whole example, you've been very aware, and you're very aware of what's going on. You aren't in denial about your drinking, you aren't in denial about the factors that are influencing it. So
Hmm.
that's just that's a strength on your part as a whole. You're
Hmm.
very aware of what's going on. You know what
Yeah.
affects your drinking. You know what makes it worse, what makes it better.
Yeah.
I think that's something you need to recognize in yourself. That's important that you do have that on your side. So
Yeah.
you can at least stop and recognize, like, I feel like I'm going to drink right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna start drinking because it sounds like A, you if you don't have very much support, or B, you feel stressed because you didn't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
Does that sound correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
you have any other examples during the week?
Um, let's see. Oh, well, I had to get my child from school because he was sick. He had
Mm-hmm.
104 fever, so I had to bring him down to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor's. And I just looking at him, I just feel like I just really want to take care of him, and I feel like you know I get these points where I'm just like I want to take care of my kids. I want to get better,
Mm-hmm.
and so that day was a good day because I mean I just saw how much I loved him and how much I didn't want to hurt him. Just seeing him sick and needing me,
Okay.
um, I want to be able to help him. I don't want to be him trying to help me, mommy, because I drank too much. So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where would you say you were in motivation
Um,
that particular time?
I thought it was like a really a deep inner motivation, like really strength in me. I don't know. I mean, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was. I don't know, probably about an 8. I mean, I
Wow,
really
that's
felt
good.
powerful. Like I really, really wanted to be a good mommy to him and take care of him.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a great example. Thank you for sharing that with me. Um, I think what you might have been feeling is when you're trying to figure out how to make a change, um, there's different things that go on either internally or externally. So it's where you're focused.
Hmm.
Um, and to me, it sounds like that situation you were very internally focused. You were
Hmm.
focused on things that don't that you can control. So you can control the love you feel for your son,
Right.
um, rather than extrinsic things that you can't control are the weather. So you mentioned that before, that
Hmm.
sometimes when it's gloomy,
Yeah.
you want to drink more. So what that sounds like to me is you're starting to feel a lot of internal motivation, which is great because that's something you can control and that's something you can
Yeah.
change on your own. So just wanted to affirm that in you. That's great. That's not something that everyone finds. A lot of people might focus on those external factors, and you can't change the
Right.
weather. You can't change the fact that your husband's out for another trip, but
Hmm.
you can change that motivation that you're feeling internally. So
Yeah.
I think you did really good with this homework. To me, what I'm hearing is you've had a lot of good moments.
Hmm.
You're recognizing a lot of good things in yourself, a lot of good things to motivate you to change. Do you have any? If you could just name a list of your motivators, what would those be?
Um, well, just watching my kids and looking at them and just feeling how blessed I really am to have them.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing I don't want this baby to be sick when it's born. I
Mm-hmm.
just know that's not good and they shouldn't be. They'll probably be tiny like the other one was, the little first one. Um, my motivator, I mean, I was thinking about, I mean, my sister always offers to come and just kind of give me a break here and there. She knows my husband's out of town and I'm having a little trouble. So
Okay.
maybe we could set up a schedule or something
Yeah,
like that.
sounds like you've got a lot of positive things going your way right now. Or
Yeah.
on the other hand, you might just starting to notice those positive
Mm-hmm.
things, which is
Yeah.
also important. Um, so moving along from the homework, I just want to check in, just have a quick check in. Um, now that we've talked about the homework and we talked about your progress so far, where do you feel like you are in your motivation to change? Where do you think you can
I
go
mean,
from
I'm
here?
definitely more aware of it.
Mhm.
Definitely like, because of this homework too, I didn't want to face it, but I really do think it helped me. Um, I want to change. I don't want this baby to be sick. I want to love my
Mhm.
kids. And my husband actually, said he can look for another job. I don't want him to have to do that. This is something he loves and it helps our family. But
Yeah.
I think as long as, maybe he can cut down on that and my
Okay.
sister can help. And
Well, it sounds
I
like you've
just,
built a big support system around
Mhm.
yourself. That's important too. Um, so you feel motivated. You feel like you might be able to make a plan to do something to
Yeah,
change.
I feel like I want to.
Okay, so just to go over some stuff we talked about previously, how much do you usually drink in a day? What's your normal pattern? I know we've talked about it before, but now that we're starting to plan um, a possibility of making a small
Yeah.
change, what's your usual day?
Usually when it's
Hmm.
not one of those good 7 or 8 days, that's probably pretty much I wake up and put something in with my orange juice and I drink a little bit throughout the day
Hmm.
until I usually get the kids in bed and fall asleep or fall asleep and kids go to bed on their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's pretty much all day every day. But
Hmm.
I'm like I do catch myself where I'll stop and won't drink one when I was going to, but
Okay.
then maybe an hour or two later I get stressed out and I drink one.
Okay. How do you feel like you can implement a small change? Where do you feel like in your day you can tweak something? Just a small thing. I'm not
Mhm.
asking you to change the world right now, but
Yeah,
what do you think is a point in your day that you might be able to not drink
yeah.
or just a little tweak? What do you think that would be?
I mean, I love like verses and things, and I like motivated verses. So I was thinking maybe I could put something in my like bathroom right in the mirror right when I wake up. That's what I see, and maybe that can keep me from that first drink.
Okay, so you think the morning might be a good time in the day to start?
Yeah, yeah.
You feel like that's
I feel like once
easier?
I start, sometimes I just don't stop.
Okay, so do you think the morning is easier to cut down on than the evening time?
Might not be easier, but it's probably the most important time. And I feel like once I start,
Okay.
I think it would probably be easier like in the evening when my husband's home or someone's around, because then I won't drink because they're there.
Hmm.
So that kind of helps,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's up to you if you think you want to jump into it and start in the morning because it sounds like that's kind of a harder time for you not to drink, or if you want to try to take um, smaller steps. It's up to you how you think your motivation can go.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I know it'll be hard, but I think I can at least put that in my mirror in my bathroom. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I could do that. But I don't know what else I could try. I mean, like the evenings when my husband's around or someone's around, I don't drink as much. So I don't know if maybe I could like just make sure I don't drink at all from a certain amount of time or something.
well, I think something that works for some people, and this is just a suggestion. Um, like you said, a verse might be a good idea, something to put on your mirror, just to maybe start your day off a little bit better. Something that I've also seen people do if they usually fill their glass up all the way, maybe try filling it up halfway. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you think is doable for now, because we'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel motivated and you feel
Yeah.
like you can do that, but
That's
um,
probably a good idea. I could try that.
okay, so if we wanna try to plan this and make a plan for next week. So it sounds like to me you'd be willing to maybe um, if you want to start in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
if you usually put 2 shots of liquor in with your orange juice, maybe cut it down to one. Maybe eventually cut it down to none, but for this week, maybe just try half as much as you usually do in the morning. Does that sound
Yeah, I can do that.
doable? Okay. Well, like you said, you can keep yourself accountable by putting a note on your mirror, or um, you can um, make a journal. Anything you feel like is going to work for you. If you're more of a writing type person, you can do a journal. I know we talked about that in a previous session that you like to do a lot of writing. Just make a chart in a notebook. It might motivate you even more to be able to check something off. But we'll probably check in on this next week to see how you felt about that small change. And like I said, we can gradually get up to a bigger change. Does that sound doable to you? Okay. Well, that's all we can ask. Just try. All right. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.